Hello there, welcome to the channel. This is going to be the weekly reading for the week of September 3rd through to September 9th, 2023. And this is for all signs. This is going to be just a general look to see what's going on. Before I pull the cards real quick, I'm just going to go over the astrology for this week. If you hear any crickets in the background, well, that's because we're in cricket season now. It's being September. And if you hear any other weird noises, that's my dog going crazy. He's got the zoomies. Okay, so First and foremost, the most important thing this week is on the 3rd of September, Venus will station direct. This is huge, right? We just ended a major retrograde cycle with Venus, going over all matters of the heart. And now that she's going direct, we get to see those lessons that need to be learned, and how do we apply them to our daily lives, and how do we move forward now with this new information? On Monday, we have Mercury in retrograde trining Jupiter. This kind of gives us a little bit of a rest period, or a little bit of a break from the retrograde. Now, Mercury is still very much going to be retrograde, but being next to Jupiter like this gives it a little bit of luck. So this is a good day in terms of retrograde. A little bit easier on us all. And then we have on Wednesday the 6th, Mercury is going to be in the heart of the sun. We call that a Kazemi. This is actually one of the best days during the retrograde. So if there's anything that you want to launch or make announcements for, or do anything with technologically, this is the best day during retrograde to do it, being that it is in the heart of the sun. And let's see, okay, also on the 8th, so that's Friday, the sun will trine Jupiter. So this is a good day to be growing, or to be projecting yourself, or to basically self-care. Growth and expansion is also themes of Jupiter. Luck is themes of Jupiter, and being that it's trining, so a trine is a good thing. The sun, this will bring pretty good energies on this day as well. Other than that, that seems to be all the major astrology, so let's put the cards. We'll get 4 cards real quick, and we'll just take a look at the energies for this week. Alright, let's see what we got. We have the 9 of Pentacles. We have Death. We have the Ace of Wands. And we have the Star. Alright, let's get them a little bit more organized. I like to read them. Okay, so this is the energy of the week. Now, first and foremost, for those of you that don't know the energy behind Death, don't freak out. That's actually not a bad card, and we'll get to it. Death is actually my favorite card in the deck, and we'll get to them. So, let's take a look step by step. The first card is our energy overall for the week. It is the 9 of Pentacles. This has to do with independence, with fertility, yes, but with wealth and money and prosperity and entrepreneurship and independence. This to me speaks to our Venus going direct. This 9 of Pentacles is everything that Venus represents, or that Venus is. It's one of the cards that I think is closest to her, other than the Empress, which she rules. But is a very, very prosperous card, a very abundant card. It speaks of accomplishment and luxury, of reward and self-sufficiency. So these are all things that now going direct, Venus will be able to bring back into our lives as one of the great benefics, one of the good helping planets out there. She will no longer be incapacitated. We can take the lessons that she's brought us, incorporate them into our lives, and get ourselves back a sense of accomplishment. It is paired next to the known energy, or the outward energy, of Death. Now, this card could also kind of be rewritten as death and rebirth. The energies of this card are endings, transformations, cycles, and change. Right? Death is not a card that should be feared. Yes, it's one of the heavier energies, but death is not a card that should be feared because death is necessary to bring change. You can't have life without death. You can't have new without getting rid of the old. And the symbol in this card here is the Grim, right? It's a black dog that, when seen, symboled that somebody soon would be passing away, or that something soon would be dying, or that the fate of that object or that person would be to die. Now, I can see how that would be harsh, but in this energy of the week, we're not talking about physical death. I mean, yes, people die all the time, and we need to be prepared for that. And I honestly, as an aside, think we as a society here in the West are very underprepared for death. And by working with Anubis myself, who is a god of the underworld, I have a bit of an insight on death that most Westerners probably don't. I mean, not saying that others don't have the insight I have, or anything like that. It's just that most of us Americans, we don't really look at death. It's something we shun. It's something we look away from. It's something that we're honestly, a lot of us are, if you think about it, are afraid of. And it's one of the things that we're never told how to prepare for. And it's one of the things that a lot of beliefs will capitalize on, because people are so scared of death as itself, as in physical death, but also with change and transition. People are terrified of transition, but actually it's quite a beautiful thing. I mean, you go through transitions every single day and you don't even really realize it because we're on autopilot so much. We go from the morning to the afternoon to the evening to night. That's transitions. The morning dies, the afternoon comes, the afternoon dies, the evening's here, the evening dies, it changes, it transitions in the night, over and over and over again. And then on a grander scale with the seasons, and then with years, right? Things change, things transition. They have to, because if life or the energy stays stagnant, there's no room for thriving. There's no room for the growth. There's no room for the accomplishment. And so, being that death is here in our known energy, this is saying, right, the grim has been spotted, the warning has been given, and not necessarily in an alarm bells warning. A warning as in things on a grand scale are changing. Now, this could also apply to your personal life as well. You could have many changes. You could be shifting jobs, or you could be leaving states, or changing countries, or even small things of like, well, maybe your schedule is being moved around. It doesn't have to be a big grand death or change, but on the world stage, things are shifting. Which way they'll go, we don't know. But those of you that listen to the September monthly reading, we need to use that intuition. We need to use our gut feeling. We need to probe around and feel the energy of the world around us that death is trying to say, and understand that, okay, it might not be stable, it might not be certain, it might not be known. What is known is that change is inevitable. What isn't known is the outcome, or what will come of it. I mean, though, the next card does give us a glimpse, because in our unknown position, or in our subconscious position, we have the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands, if I can pick it up, there we go. The Ace of Wands is a raw energy. All aces are pure energy of their element, and Wands rules fire. Wands rules creativity, it rules passion, it rules life itself. It's one of the highest vibrational elements out there, and it rules the realm of the higher self, right? That is the realm of fire, right? In the Christian ideas, not necessarily my favorite, but in the Christian ideas, the Holy Spirit is the flame of fire, right? You see people with spiritual works have fire or halos of light around them. That is that energy, and what that's actually speaking to, is the higher self. is the spark of the divine source spirits, the gods, the goddesses, the energies, the ancestors, like all of it, the source that created us all. You know, whatever you choose to believe it as, the force, you know, it is that energy, and it is raw creative potential. So it's saying that together there that things must die, things must go away, so that the Ace of Wands can bring in creation and inspiration and passion and potential, right? It's all new potential, but it has to be made way for first. You can't have newness without making room for it first. If you try to build a new building on a spot that already has the old building before you clear the old building, it'll never work. You have to do the demolition first. You have to prep the ground first, and then you can build. Then you can be creative. Then you can ascend to new heights. And that is what these cards are showing. And then we have our outcome card here. Again, Venus. Again, the goddess. Those of you listening to September reading, this will sound familiar. She's back. Her symbol is the pentagram, which is the 5 elements: earth, air, water, fire, and spirits, all together. She's number 17. She is divine wisdom. She's divine guidance. She is the goddess. And she is Venus. Because that star, interestingly, those of you who don't know, when Venus goes retrograde, her pattern that she makes is a 5-pointed star in space. So we have Venus going direct again. And this is bringing us all back to her. The goddess is speaking. She's reaching out, right? She's clearing the path forward. She sent out the Grimm to warn and to give the signs and symbols to those of us that have intuition, those of us that are connected to the earth, those of us that are connected to source and spirit, those of us that have psychic power, which is everybody, and is giving us the signs that she is making room on this planet for the potential, for the creativity, for the abundance, right? She represents serenity and hope, spirituality, purpose, and inspiration. She's the queen of heaven and the goddess of love, fertility, and war in this card. The card here is the Sumerian goddess Iana, later called Ishtar by the Babylonians. She's usually portrayed with a bundle of reeds in her hand and a common symbol of fertility and abundance. You know, this goes on to say that many women in mythology are portrayed simply as young maidens, faithful wives, or caring mothers, but Iana manifests her power in her independence, the 9 of Pentacles, independence. She does as she pleases, taking many lovers as a goddess of sensuality, right? Venus rules love in the hearts, but also riding into battle as a fully armored goddess of war, death. She clears the field. She does her own work. Let's see here. Well, as one of her symbols is the 8-pointed star, a star that symbols hope and purpose, a light in the dark to guide us forward. Her symbol here is the pentagram on the bottom of this card. It speaks of order and protection. It talks about the elements, and it represents spirit, right? The goddess has spoken, the goddess has returned, and she's making room on this earth and in this reality for a new, creative, independent, prosperous world that we have distanced ourselves from, either on purpose or accidentally, through different forces, through different means. But she's coming back, and she's speaking, and I honestly believe that's who we've channeled here today. Normally I feel like it's my team that's giving us the message, and maybe it still is, but I feel like she's taken over, and she's making herself known here that it is time for her to go to war, and it is time for her to bring back her realm of love, fertility, and abundance, and prosperity, and freedom. And she's coming back to take her realm on her room on the world stage. She's been silenced far too long, and now she's coming back. And whether that looks like in our own worlds is uniquely personal. to all of us. That is part of your own spiritual journey that I can't say how that'll go because it's different for everybody. We all come from different paths and different beliefs and different experiences. But it's a beautiful thing that just know, even if you don't even want to connect with her or the spirit or the universe or the force or whatever you want to call her, that she's there and the energies will be that of creativity and love and of peace. But to get there, she has to take back what's hers. She needs to clear the field. She needs to bring out the death. You know, whether that's physical death. Now, for some people it can be, because let's be real, that's a reality. That's part of our physical reality, is the death. It's part of our dualistic reality, life and death. You know, you need both. One cannot exist without the other here in this realm. So she's bringing forward, she said, it is time. It is time for change. It is time for transition. And I'm very excited to see where she's going to take this. Hopefully something in this reading resonated with you. I know it got kind of heavy towards the end there, but she came through. She came through, and that's what she wanted said. So that's what I delivered. Hopefully something here resonated with you, and I hope you have the best week. It looks like it's going to be a very easy week, a very good week. Things are shifting. Things are changing. So just be careful. Use your psychic senses. You know, make sure you double check everything. Mercury is still in retrograde. But Venus is going direct. You know, we've got the Jupiter and the Sun doing great things. We've got trines this week. All good energies. Best of luck out there. Be kind to each other. And I'll see you next week. Bye.